Hi, this is Dan here. I hope you're doing really well today. This lesson is a very simple one. It's about triads and you could do loads with this. Let's start off with an exercise where we take C major, we build a triad off of every note and you get this. Very briefly, I'll explain what a triad actually is. If you take a C major scale, the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, you take the first, the third, and the fifth of those notes and isolate them, you get a triad. And there are 4 different types of triad: major, minor, diminished, and augmented. And in the exercise, you can download that, by the way, there's a link below. In the exercise, when you harmonize a major scale, you get 3 of those 4 types of triad. You get a major, that's where you get a letter like C and nothing after it, those are all major. A little M means minor, those are minor triads. And then a DIM stands for diminished, that's the 3rd type. And I won't stay on this too long, but a major triad is just a major third followed by a minor third. A minor triad is a minor third followed by a major third, so like the opposite. A diminished, so the B, D, F, that's a minor third followed by a minor third. So it's just different configurations of thirds. We don't have an augmented triad here, but that's a major third followed by a major third. That's a really interesting sound. We're not really going to deal with that one in this lesson. So you've got that exercise. I would use it as a technique exercise, but also to look at the different triad shapes. These are all open position, meaning they've got open strings in them, but I would also suggest you learn them closed. So for example, C major triad, C, E, G. You also learn it where the G is on the 5th fret of the D string in this case. And that's great because you could move it around. Every single one of those was a major triad, and a closed position allows you to move the shape around. I'm going to give you 3 or 4 ideas, and I want you to learn the triads off by heart and then do the similar kind of thing that I'm doing now. So I just got a drum beat at the beginning, and I was just making up bass lines around that. So what I did at first was I took the minor ones, the A minor, the E minor, and the D minor. Started on A minor. And that just sounds like a bass line, doesn't it? So the A minor triad, A, C, and E. Since these are shapes, if I start that shape and I've got my root on the open string, I've got my flat third on the 3rd fret, and I've got my 5th on the 2nd fret, I can move it around. So D minor triad, same configuration. E minor triad. I love to learn things as patterns on the bass, and I suggest that you try that out as well, because then you only really need to learn one thing and then you can move things around. 2 really, because you've got your open, then you've got your closed. It's the same thing starting on the 5th fret. So I went like this. I'm tapping my foot, dun, 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 that's 1 bar. Then I moved to E, then to D minor, and then to A. Alter the rhythms, alter the order of notes. Let's do a little bit more reggae style. So here I'm going to put my palm here, do a palm mute, use my thumb to pluck. Or reggae music uses triads a lot. You can hear that there. In a little while I'm going to show you how to embellish this a tiny bit, but for now let's move on to another idea. Let's do a rock thing. This time I'll take F, G and A minor. So here I'm speeding up a bit and I'm using eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm going. So that's the F triad. I'm going root, major third, fifth, although I'm not thinking that, I'm just playing the shape. And then I'm moving to G. Now there I decided not to play the fifth, I just used the root and the third. And then the A minor triad. Okay. Probably better to start first finger actually, because then I'm in position. So you don't have to use in your bass lines all the first, the third and the fifth each time. I mean, look, root. That would be the simplest thing to do, just use roots. Certainly all these notes which are outlining the chords, so they're chord tones, they sound really good in bass lines. Let's use the major triads, so that's the C, the F and the G, to do slightly different style. And this is what I was doing in the intro. I was going. So I altered things a little bit here. So C major triad, C, E, G. I played it slightly differently. I put the third, which is the E, on the same same string as the root note, the C. And this is what I was alluding to earlier about always learning things in slightly different positions. So there's my C, E major third. That's it on the same string. It's just sort of 5 frets across. And that allows me to slide into it. Don't overshoot the mark like I did there. Nice and gently into the correct place. I'm going from 2 frets below with my third finger. That brings my first finger in position to play the fifth, which is that G. And there's that beautiful thing where I've got the same pattern. I happen to now be on the G, which is what I want to be. And I play exactly the same pattern. Because they're all major, they're all the same. Then quite a big shift to the third fret, the F. And that's what I'm doing in this little example here. Hopefully this will give you some ideas to take forward into your practice. I always recommend taking like a theory idea like this and make music with it as we're doing here, because it's just fun really. Plus you can jam, you can compose, you can improvise, and you can figure out bass lines because you'll hear them a little better. So that's kind of the rough speed I'm thinking about here. Now to finish with here, I think that's enough ideas for you to take forward. Learn the exercise, learn the different shapes of the triad, try and make them, put them into closed positions and then make up different bass lines. One thing I was doing in the intro, I don't know if you caught it, was this sort of thing. Little fills. And what I was doing there, because it's quite rare that you hear bass lines that are strictly like one thing, just triads. You'll get little combinations of triads. And little sort of scale fragments. And all I was doing was a pentatonic. The key is C major. So I'm using C major pentatonic, or its relative minor of A natural minor. If all of that went over your head, don't worry at all. It's just this pattern. So you could just learn those notes and know that they all sound good. So I was doing stuff like this. Little blues note there. If you like that lesson, I do have a course that goes a little bit more into theory ideas and playing different styles of music and breaking it down that way. Remember to click the link below, download the PDF, and just have fun with this. Just take it in your own time, make up loads of different types of bass lines, and listen out for these when you're listening to your favorite bass lines. You're going to hear this idea happening quite a lot. Hope you enjoyed that lesson. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time.